Greetings, comrades. Hope this finds you well. Quick shout out to the Indie News Network, or INN, which I am very excited and proud to be a part of. So it's not surprising that Vice is putting out more imperialist propaganda, more State Department talking points, this time in regards to Cuba. The moderate rebels, Ben Norton and Max Blumenthal did a really good episode on Vice, calling out, they're just basically a tool of U.S. imperialism, frankly, draped in, this hipster look, this hipster motif, while still being very much a part of the U.S. empire and supporting U.S. imperialism. But they look cool while doing it, right? So support Vice. So this is a pretty interesting article from Adam Johnson and his Substack, and this particular reporter who works for Vice is Paula Ramos. I believe her father is Jorge Ramos, that kind of right-wing reactionary, journalist. What is he? He works for one of those Spanish speaking news outlets, and he's just a very kind of reactionary figure, and so it makes sense that Paula is that same way. So, and it's also very interesting too, because I was looking at Paula's Twitter. Well, let's just look at it real quick. I have scrolled down to November 13th. I'm not seeing anything about, let's say, Julian Assange, but everything about Cuba. And let's see, I mean, of course, and she's not going to say anything, right, about the U.S. sanctions, the U.S. embargo blockade on that country that has been there for 6 fucking decades at this point. And look, she's going on MSNBC, so of course she's going to be, spouting U.S. imperialism bullshit.
Tell us a little bit about your trip. What's the atmosphere of going into a totalitarian regime and trying to do some work?
Yes, Cuba is the totalitarian regime, while the U.S. is the largest fucking carceral state in the fucking world. But we're the land of the free, and we're persecuting Julian Assange for the crime of being a journalist. Of course, you're not going to hear any of those takes, any of the fucking objective reality on MSNBC, right? It's all fucking Cuba's totalitarian. They're so horrible, even though the U.S. has a fucking torture camp there, Guantanamo Bay. Shut the fuck up.
Work.
Well, look, what you just saw is a Cuba that is on extreme high alert. No, it is a Cuba that we know, a Cuba that for over 62 years has been under a repressive dictatorship. But the woman.
What? Okay. See what she did there? They've been under a repressive dictatorship for 62 years. Okay, that's not even true, right? But not to mention the fact the U.S. embargo has the sanctions as economic warfare, the siege warfare. This modern siege warfare has been waged against Cuba. Oh, fuck. Okay, so it's just all going to be bullshit and propaganda, right? So it's not surprising. And look, nothing about Julian Assange, nothing about U.S. imperialism, U.S. war crimes, but yep, retweeting AOC. She's going on MSNBC to spout bullshit and lies about Cuba. So just another fucking liberal hack working for Vice. So this is again, look, nothing about Julian Assange, the extradition trial there, because it goes against, her bosses, her higher ups at Vice, and she'd lose her probably MSNBC speaking gig, right? So that's her dad there. And then, of course, she's retweeting bullshit about fucking Nicaragua. So, okay. So this is the type of fucking journalist or reporter that they have working at Vice. Vice is absolute just imperialist fucking garbage and talking points. So let's look at Adam Johnson's article here. So look at this. And you're not going to see Vice or Paulo Ramos talk about Saudi Arabia. Saudi-funded Vice cries freedom for Cuba, mysteriously silent on Saudi human rights abuses. And I believe that's one of the founders, right? Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Intrepid reporter going behind enemy lines to seek truth against violent state forces. And again, there's not going to be anything in there, nothing whatsoever. There's not going to be any dissenting opinions talking to, people who don't want U.S. imperialism, U.S. regime change efforts, people who want the economic embargo to stop because it makes life there hell, particularly for the marginalized, particularly for the most vulnerable elements of the working class. So again, this type of narrative, what that does, it feeds the efforts of U.S. imperialism and regime change efforts in Cuba. That's literally what the purpose of this fucking Vice shit is, right? To support U.S. imperialism in fucking Cuba. It's disgusting. Jesus. Has run zero critical reporting, the absolute monarchy, since its business partnership began 7 months ago. Look at that. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Perhaps if Cuba had simply paid Vice millions of dollars, company would be producing travel puff pieces for Cuba instead of sending reporters to help assist protest movements and martial outrage for American audiences. Oh, Jesus Christ. So yeah, fucking Vice is trash. They support U.S. imperialism, so that's why they don't deserve any of your support or time unless it's to call out their bullshit and ridicule them like I did. Hands off Cuba, hands off Nicaragua. The United States empire is an absolute dumpster fire, and U.S. government U.S. media also has no fucking right telling these other countries, these other left independent countries, how they should be fucking governing. Particularly given the United States is the biggest purveyor of death and destruction in the world, right? Like the video if you like the damn video. Quick shout out to the 2 Uber comrades supporting my channel, my partner, and Indie Left News. Peace.